Okay, hello everybody. Today we're going to talking about the personal finance. So basically, this one is from personal finance literacy stuff and the whole series about finance. And today we see the website they're talking about all the finance relate and integrate into many courses from grade 4 to grade 12. And the Ministry of Education already mentioned regarding to make the student understand, to make the informed finance decision, financial decision, and also carefully consider their finance choice and help the student understand basic money management, and also develop their own perspective on financial matters, the interest rate or mortgage rules, and also help them to understand and participate fully in society, knowledgeable about the finance and stay financially stable, and also understand the impact of economic choice. So personal finance is one of the things we're supposed to talk about for today. There is so much to thing to talk about, but we're going to go through one by one in order to make those things accessible and be able for you to use all your life. So let's see what we're to talk about today in your personal finance. So there is 5 things we have to focus for today. Number 1, we're going to talk about the accommodation. What is the accommodation? Accommodation. It is your house, your apartment, the place to live, right? Second one, we're talking about move and all the initial accommodation expense. So one day you decide to go and live independently by yourself. So when you live independently, you have to move out and it's costly, right? Then number 3, we talked about control the living expense. So when you live by yourself, you have a duty to pay. You pay many things. You're going to pay for your mortgage, or you're going to pay for your car, you're going to pay for house, you're going to pay for food, you're going to pay so many things for phone service and a lot of other things, etc. Entertainment too, right? Then the 4th thing we're going to talk about, decide the household budget. So the budget is a book for you to keep in order to control your money. So we're going to talk about that. And lastly, we talk about filing an income tax return, your duty, or what is your right and responsibility a taxpayer. Okay, so that's the 5 things we're going to mention for today. So let's see what the next one. I will check on you regarding to the KWL. So what you know for now? What do you want to know for today? And before you go, you have a exit card to tell me, or maybe you want to fill for me what you learned for today, to see how much we can understand or how much we can accomplish for the day of learning today. Okay? I'm not going to talk too much, and I'm going to do a little bit of talking and a little bit of the time for you to participate in our activity. So basically here, very first one here, let's take a look to warm up to see what the finance about. Okay? So we can start by a simple word, and we're going to define a word to see what is that about. Okay? So now, find a word on the wall. I have a 4 words around in this classroom. Then you're going to find familiar word related to the finance. Then write a definition for that word. Just talking to tell me what does that word mean, right? Then we can share, right? Okay. So next one, we're going to go to it, the good topic for now. So you're going to find the first topic here. We talked about finding accommodation. Okay. So first, the dash number 1 here, they say the affordability of housing. So what how you can afford. Okay. Then next one we talk about find a rental unit. You can rent a house or apartment or everywhere you can live, right? Then the third one we're talking about the rights and responsibility of the landlord and tenant. And the third one, you can decide to buy a condominium, a house, etc. Okay, so we're talking about that procedure. So basically in the books, you only spend the maximum of your income, 1/3 of your income monthly for your housing. Example, if you make $3,000 a month, that the maximum you can get for your accommodation is $1,000, 1/3 of 3,000. Then we have exercise here. We're going to talk about 3-4 different people, and we're going to see who's going to be able to make how much. Then you're going to work out to see how much they can spend a month for accommodation. So, example, find the most that each person should spend on housing. A. 2 make 1,200 per month, 1/3 of that. Okay. B. Rita make 30,000 per year. C. Sham make 500 per week. D. Celine make $10 per hour, but now she work about 35 hours per week, right? Then you can work it out to see how much they can spend maximum for your housing. Okay. Next one. Now I come back to the page before. We're talking about what kind of the housing we want to do and we decide to buy. There is a lot of procedure, the step to buy a house or to find a rental unit or the right and responsibility. I will put on the blackboard and let you see more later. Okay. And if we have enough time, I'm going to go more detail what we can do and what we can see for those steps. And go back over here. So done. Now, what kind of the house you like to buy? What is the house you like to live in? For rent, for buy, it's okay. So let's see. So you can use your cell phone or you can use the internet and you can find what house you like to live. 1-bedroom house, 3-bedroom house, a condominium or whatever, and we can share. Alright? And next one here, we're going to talking about moving and other initial accommodation expense. So when you decide to have a house, now we have to move. Parking costs, transportation, car, truck to carry all those stuff. What is the initial for renting, what you're going to pay, and what you're going to pay for buy a house. Put them all together and put the moving expenses on top and see how much you decide to go out and live by yourself. Okay, I have a worksheet to hand out, then you can fill out all the information on that paper to see what initial cost for living independently. Okay, and also we're going to move on to the third topic for today. We talk about ongoing living expense after moving in. What else you have to pay? You can pay what type of expenses. How can we going to control that? So there are 2 kinds of expenses you can talking about. The first one is fixed cost expenses and another one is very expensive. So which one? What kind of expenses we may talking about and how can we going to control it, right? So the fixed expense is something you must pay monthly, and let's say the telephone bill, something like fixed expenses like water, heat, or electricity, something called fixed expenses. So you have to pay by monthly, right? They give you the bill, doesn't matter what, right? Then a very expensive, though very expensive, you can change. Example, you can go to cinema, or you can go to go out to eat out from dine out from a restaurant or something. That's one called very expensive. You can control it, right? Or long distance phone call or some other activity for entertainment. You can control. That's not fixed expensive. That's the very expensive. Then you can calculate monthly of expenses and see how much money you can use and how much money you can save, right? And we can have a worksheet to work it out. And next one, for the next one we talk about to put the expenses all together, like you become a budget. Then you can to sum them up, put into the T-chart, or maybe like the 2, 4 or 3 column table to make a budget. So the budget we consist of how much you make for a month, what the expenses, the whole list of expenses from fixed expenses, very expensive. Then you subtract each other to find the difference. So the difference, if the positive from the income, you can have a money for saving. But if you take the expenses and you take away the income and you get the positive money, then you're going to get the negative amount from your income. That means you run into debt. That's not good. So you have to do somehow to control your budget so you can live better. Then you don't have a worry for don't have money. You have saving money, right? The purpose of budget, that means you can control your money. Then very last thing for today, we're going to sit together. We're going to file a paper for income tax return. The income tax return is the responsibility for all the taxpayers. So the taxpayers have to pay and file an income tax return every year and on time. That is the law, and we have to do that, and we have to do it right. That is all about for today. Then we can complete the worksheet together and try to understand the tax system, and we're going to move on from there. I hope we have more time to go deeper and discuss more about those topics on later on during the core lesson. Then we're going to get all those things done. Alright, that is all about for today. Okay, so now we're going to get through and work one by one to make everything done and possible.